So it turns out influencers are going broke in 2025, and most of them are having to resort to going back to working a 9 to 5. And I'm not going to say I'm surprised, because as somebody who's been a full-time influencer for the last 6 years, I know exactly what it feels like to feel like you have to go back to working a 9 to 5 after doing content for so long. So this video right here is, I guess, a compilation of a bunch of people talking about why they had to go back to working a 9 to 5 after being a content creator for so long. So we're going to watch this video, react to it, give our opinion, and see what's up with it. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Sometimes I feel like I'm never going to achieve my
fill my cup up.
Sometimes I feel like I'm never going to achieve my goal or my dream of becoming a full-time social media influencer or content creator because of my financial situation, and it gets really discouraging because it's almost as if you can't or you shouldn't work so you can actually dedicate like a full 40-hour work week to just pursuing content creation, creating content, posting it, all of that. And it's really hard if you're providing for yourself, and like it just makes me sad because like it always feels so far away because all the expenses build up and I have to put content creation on the side to take care of business, and it just makes me so sad.
I mean, this would no.
Alright, I don't know if I'm understanding that right, but it kind of sounds like she's talking about having to spend money to create content and not being able to spend the money because she doesn't have the money from working a 9 to 5. I don't know, but in reality, when you're a content creator, there's not much money you have to spend. It's really you're spending time, right? The only thing that you're spending to create content is usually the time. So that can be hard if you're working a 9 to 5 and you want to create content after the 9 to 5, but everybody does that, right? Every content creator, every influencer, every person on this earth that's on social media has something that they're doing other than the content, right? So after they're done doing what they're doing on the other side, they go ahead and do content. All right, so before they're even famous, before they blew up, before they went viral, anything like that, they was working, they was doing what they had to do, and then after that, they started creating content. So everybody has to go through that. I don't know what she was really talking about there.
No hate, but I'm very curious as to what influencer broke means. I've seen videos from like influencers who have millions of followers or like close to it, and they'll say they're broke.
Hey guys, it's Matcha, and I'm here to
Influencer broke. Yeah, so I'm guessing she just thinks that 1 million followers means you got thousands of dollars in your bank account. That's not true. All right, you could have millions of followers and have zero dollars in your bank account. You can have 1,000 followers and have more money than a person that has 1 million followers. Right? It's all about leverage. It's all about what you do with your following. It's all about what you do on social media. So when they talk about influencer broke, it's probably somebody who got the followings. Probably they got the platform, but they don't know how to use it. Right? They probably built it up, did all these things, and switched out from what they was doing originally, and now they can't bring it back to where they was at. So now they can't make the money they was making. All these things kind of play into that, being influencer broke, but I guess that's what she's talking about. In the end, if I'm going based off what she said, though, she's kind of making it seem like you have 1 million followers, you're supposed to have millions of dollars or thousands of dollars in your bank account, but that's not true.
to remind you that not every content creator or influencer you see, or streamer at that, is a millionaire and has the nicest things that you can imagine. Somebody about 2 weeks ago decided to come into my TikTok stream and so kindly remind me that my walls are scratched, I have a popcorn ceiling, my backdrop isn't aesthetic, and he could tell that I was poor.
Controversial opinion, but
see, that's the problem too with being an influencer. You got to make it seem a lot of these influencers are making it seem like they're something that they're not, right? And that's why a lot of them end up going broke, because they're spending money on the nice clothes, the nice accessory, the nice computers and cameras and all these different things to make everybody else think that they're doing good when they're really not, right? That's the biggest problem nowadays with influencers going broke and having to go back to working a 9 to 5, is because they're trying to keep up an image that's not really them, right? If you're going to be a content creator or influencer and you want to do it full time, be yourself. That's the best thing I can tell you. Be yourself and do the things that you like doing. There's really nothing that can happen if you're being yourself. If you're not, sooner or later it's going to fall and you're going to come tumbling down with it, and then you might just be in a position where you have to go back to working a 9 to 5. So remember that.
I think that most influencers are going to end up going broke, and I'm going to explain to you why I know this. I'm saying most, not all. Just keep that in mind. How many influencers do you know or athletes do you know that have really stayed relevant long term? It's a very small proportion of them, right? One of the biggest misconceptions.
Being relevant doesn't really mean much too as a content creator. You don't really got to be relevant to be making money or financially stable as a content creator or an influencer or anything like that. So that doesn't really mean anything like that. Because I mean, if I look at myself, I don't really look at myself as relevant as I used to be with my music or my content that I would make. But I'm still able to be financially independent and stable based off of all the things that I'm able to do and all the things that I learned. Right. So you don't got to be relevant to be in a position where you're still financially stable and you're in a good position to live life. I don't know. That's just me though. That's just me.
On social media, and I thought this before I became an influencer, that if someone has a ton of followers that they make a bunch of money, which is so far from the truth. But followers don't always equate to money. So yeah, it's a misconception, and I thought that at first too. I would see someone with like 500,000 followers, I'm like, oh my gosh, I bet they make so much money. But the truth is, there's probably people with 500,000 followers who have barely made any money.
I wish followers equated to money. Right? For every follower you got, it's $1. I wish. You know how much money you would have? Imagine that on a subscription base where you got 100,000 followers. That's $1 for each follower, and it's on a monthly base where you get $1 for each one of those followers. Imagine that. Like that would be unreal. So if content creation and being an influencer was really like that, everybody would be rich at this point. Everybody would be making thousands of dollars a day. Not a month or a year. That's a day. Right, so it's not like that. That's one thing a lot of people got to get through their heads is having a lot of followers does not mean having a lot of money. It does not mean that.
See, here's the thing. I tell you guys this all the time, but for some reason you guys don't seem to listen. Followers do not equate to money when you aren't posting the right type of content. So the other day I had a coaching call with a young man who has 900K followers here on TikTok. And a lot of his friends think that he's making thousands and thousands of dollars, which he's not at all.
Quick question. Why are all of these girls on my For You page saying, oh, I've made 10 grand this month from TikTok sales? No, you haven't. No, you haven't. I don't like that. That's fake. I know you're trying to do it because it does get you more views. I'm going to put, I made 10 grand as a caption and see how many views this video gets. I don't like it.
I don't like this.
It's fake.
I don't like videos like this. I don't like videos like that. Because making $10,000 on TikTok has nothing to do with your views. And if you talk about making $10,000 on TikTok, I'm assuming she's talking about TikTok Shop. You're not making any money talking about making money from TikTok Shop. So her saying that just kind of sounds bitter. Hearing somebody say that they made $10,000 and then you just automatically dismiss it because you think they're trying to make more money from the videos that they're making. It doesn't make any sense, right? TikTok Shop, you only make money from the videos of you reviewing products. And the TikTok Shop Creator Fund, you only make money from videos over a minute that qualify into the Creator Fund. So that made no sense. It made no sense.
Guys, apparently people think I'm rich, and according to Google or AI or whatever, my net worth is $2 to $5 million. And yes, I was curious, so I Googled myself. Well, actually, my brother did, and I was sitting right next to him. And when we saw the $2 to $5 million, we were like laughing so hard. But I tried looking for it this morning, and I can't find it. So I don't know if like the website's down or whatever, but that was the number, okay? It was definitely AI or something that came up with that number. And I don't know where that number came from because I'm still waiting for it to hit my bank account. I have never made $1 million in my life, guys, okay? Not even close. Let's talk about it because I always find this stuff super interesting, and I also think there's a huge misconception that all influencers are rich or have money. So the number of followers you have does not directly correlate to how much money you have, because there are people who have under 100,000 followers and are able to make a full-time income and live comfortably with that money that they make. But then on the flip side, there's also people who have hundreds of thousands of followers or millions of followers, and they're struggling to pay rent, or they need to get a 9-to-5 job on top of influencing. Like, guys, I live with my parents and I couldn't move out even if I wanted to. I guess realistically, if I had to move out, I could, but I would be so worried about my bills every month. And I would probably be living paycheck to paycheck and not saving any money. What a lot of people don't realize is when influencers get brand deals, they're not going to see that money for months usually. And then you have to keep in mind that all the money that you do get, it's not all the money you have. Because like everyone, we all pay taxes. But when people who do freelance work get money, it's before tax is taken out. So you have to like set aside money to pay taxes at the end of the year, and a lot of it. But you don't really know the exact number you're going to have to pay, which is the scary part.
All right, that's something a lot of influencers and content creators struggle with right there. When it comes to making money as a content creator, the money doesn't last, right? So 1 month you can make $1,000, the next month you can end up making $10,000, and the next month after that, or the next 3 months after that, you don't make nothing, right? So it can be scary, it can be tough, and then on top of that, you got taxes that you got to pay, you got all these expenses that you got to pay, you got all these other things that you got to pay. Now that you got paid all this money, right, you started spending money that you didn't have. So now you got all these expenses. But the biggest thing when it comes to being a content creator, the biggest expense is going to be those taxes. A lot of content creators struggle with the taxes, and that is like a big downfall for a lot of content creators. My biggest piece of advice for you is if you're a content creator, you make anything, put to the side 30%. Just put 30% to the side. If you make $1 from social media, put 30% to the side. Because the last thing you need is for tax season to come around and you owe money. And you're confused on why you owe money, right? So you're always going to owe money as a content creator if you're making money from social media, because the taxes are not taken out. It's before tax money, right? So whenever you get paid from social media, take 20 to 30% out and put that to the side, and make sure you remember that this money is for taxes. Always remember that, because that's going to save you in the future. Because if the new year comes around and you got to pay taxes off of money that you don't have, that's going to be the fastest way for you to go from being a full-time influencer to having to work a 9 to 5 again. Because you don't have that money that you got to pay for taxes, and Uncle Sam doesn't play about his money. So always remember that, guys. Remember that.
Don't nobody want to talk about how everybody be lit on social media and broke in real life. Y'all be letting these girls really trick y'all. They say girls
That's
out
why I
here.
stay private.
I'm so messy. They said.
Sorry for I'm pausing it a lot, but that's why I stay private, because once you put it out there to the world, you got to keep doing it. And I'm not about to keep faking something that I'm not doing. If I go to the club one night out of the year, I'm not going to post it like I do that every night. Because once I do it once, people are going to be expecting me to keep posting like that. And they're going to expect my life to look like that all the time when I post. So I won't ever be able to post no random things, no normal things. Like, I won't be able to switch it up to do things that I actually like. So this is why a lot of times the private life stays private. Because if you post anything like that, you fancy, you're doing nice things, all this stuff, and it's not really you, now you're stuck in a lane that's you don't even believe in, right? You don't believe it, it's not true, and you can't afford to keep it going. Don't do it, y'all. Don't even.
Hey, girls out here purchasing things, unboxing them, and taking them back for content. I don't know how true it is. I don't know, but my fair share hanging with a girl, she had like 3.some million followers on Instagram.
Like, people
we get
really
to the club, she like, I'm finna cash app you. Yeah, it ain't no issue. Like, if you my homegirl, you out with me, everything took care of. But you on social media and you lit and real, you're not. Like, y'all have to make that shit make sense, because then when we start hanging out with each other, you don't got no money, your money on your card, or you get paid for promo this day, just something is always wrong. That's why make sure them followers match that bank account, or at least have more money than you got followers.
Always.
I don't know, but I'm so tired of that. Like, then
that's the thing. Thinking somebody's supposed to just have money because they got followers.
Y'all trying to bust the bill down to the cent. Oh, girl, I just owe you $1.15. Look, we can't hang.
So I saw this video of this guy talking about how like influencers are living way above their means and they're not actually that rich. They're in debt. They're begging for money. Nothing is ever what it seems. And I know that people go on the internet and they look at these people with the nice cars that are making thousands of dollars per video, and you just assume like, wow, I wish I had the money that they had. But the funny thing about it is, which is one thing that my father taught me growing up, is that people that flex money don't have money. Every single rich person that I know does not flex their money. But one of the things that people fail to understand when they see these rich people on social media is there's a thing called credit cards. There's a thing called debt. And people just assume that everyone has the money outright to go doing all these crazy and obnoxious things. Absolutely not. So if you're ever looking at influencers and you're like, wow, holy like they are so rich. Just remember that there's a lot more that goes behind the scenes that people don't realize. And just because someone appears rich does not mean they have money.
Looking rich and being rich is two different things, guys. Right? Those are two different things. So trying to hold up an image of you being rich and you're not really rich, it's going to come tumbling down. It's going to come falling down sooner or later. Right? Sooner or later, it's going to come to an end and you're not going to be able to uphold that image that you have. But on the other side of what she said, when it comes down to rich people, don't usually show off their money. We're in a different age. We're in a different day and age where the rich people are the 21, the 20, the 19-year-old kid, right? And most of them are getting rich because they're posting on social media. They're doing all these things to get the attention onto their business, onto their brand, all these different things that's making them the money. So in the end, they have to kind of show off the things that they got to make the money, because say they're selling knowledge, selling a course, selling something valuable, right? Nobody's going to believe that they're doing it if they don't show off the things that they got from doing the thing, right? So most of the time nowadays, the people that are making money online are making money from selling courses or selling knowledge, or, you know, they're providing something of value. So they have to make sure they're keeping up an image to make sure the people that they're trying to sell to, they see that they're actually doing the thing that they want them to buy from them. So it's kind of a hit or miss when it comes down to not all rich people show off their money. Not all rich people flaunt it. And if you're rich, you don't show it off. And if you're not rich, it's kind of a hit or miss. It's a gray area, because nowadays things are different, right? The rich person isn't that 68-year-old working in, you know, stock markets and things like that. It's the kids, and they're trying to keep up an image that they built on social media to make the money that they're showing off. So it's a gray area, guys. It's a hit or miss, but like I said, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say that I'm broke. I'm not afraid to say that I literally just sat in this hotel room that I just spent $300 on because I missed my flight and cried my eyes out. I'm not afraid to say that I'm struggling in life. I'm afraid to say that I'm struggling, guys. I'm struggling to make a living for myself. And, you know, I'm broke, you know, and I'm sacrificing and I'm giving and I'm tired and I'm over it, but I need to keep it real, man. I'm 24 years old. I'm trying to make this lifestyle, but I've got no backings. I've got nothing to work off, and it's just me, myself, and my phone. Sometimes I'm like, bruv, is this where, like, what do I do from here? Because I just feel like I can never catch a break. This is a reality. Like, you might think that all these influencers online are rich and balling and making it happen. Well, guess what, sexy legs? It ain't me. I do it for love, and hopefully one day I can make it happen.
Everybody coming on here and deciding, oh, I'm going to become an influencer, I'm going to make a bunch of money doing this is great. Like, I support you, girl, follow your dreams, but if money is your only motivator to come on here and become an influencer and live this life, you're going to be so disappointed and so depressed. Because not every month is going to be the month where you make a lot of money and live that influencer lifestyle.
A lot of people don't talk about that, right? A lot of people don't talk about that part right there, depression for content creators. Right? Going into content creation or becoming an influencer for the money and not making the money will quickly lead into you being depressed, because the things that you want aren't coming and you're constantly working for the thing and it's not happening. That's something that not a lot of content creators talk about, and that is something that is real. It will happen, especially if you go into this for the purpose of just making money. You got to go into content creation or being an influencer because you want to do that. You like it, you love it. Not because you want to make money from it, because the money will come from the things that you love. It doesn't matter what you do. Whatever you love doing, over time, money will come. So same thing with content creation and being an influencer. If you go into it wanting money, the money's going to be real slow. And over time, it's just going to make you depressed because it's not coming fast enough, as fast as you expected it to. So don't go into it with the mindset of, I'm going to become a famous influencer and make millions of dollars, right? Go into it with the mindset of, I'm going to become a content creator or an influencer with thousands of followers, and I'm going to build up my brand, and hopefully I can build something off of that makes me money. That's how you want to look at that.
So, in fact, especially when you're first starting off, a lot of months you're going to be dead broke, which is why I always suggest for people to try doing it part-time until it makes enough to where they can go full-time.
Even then, if you're making a full-time income from content creation, it could be that much money one month, and then the next month you make $200. So you really should be making like consistent income for half a year before you decide to quit that job. Because when the money's not there and the money's not showing up, you're gonna quit. And that's what happens to 90% of these failed influencers. It's more than likely if you start trying to be an influencer in 2025, it might be 2026 or 2027 before you start making that much money, unless you get hit by a random stroke of luck. You can't guarantee money in this industry ever. The only thing you can do is increase your chances of having a higher likelihood of getting hit with that luck, aka the viral video, the brand deal.
That right there is true. Right? When she was talking about making a certain amount of money one month and not making it the next month, a lot of content creators think that they're gonna make $10,000, $20,000, and that's gonna keep going every month after month after month, and then they decide to quit their job because after that first time. Right? As a content creator, it's so finicky. Things change. You can go from making that money for 1 month and not make nothing, like I said before, in the next 5 months. You can be dead broke for 5 months, and you have to make that 10,000, that 20,000 last for the next 5 months. And you're constantly making content. You're constantly doing things to make money, and you're not making money. Right? So that is something that happens as a content creator. You really got to go into this with the mindset of stay strong, right? Push through it, and you got to be ready for it. Right? I recommend don't just quit your job after your first big check as a content creator, and wait at least 2, maybe 3. See how those first 3 is going to be, because they might not be the same. So that's going to give you an idea. Okay, first one was 10, the next one was 2, the next one after that was 3. Is that enough to survive off of if you keep doing that? Right? Is the lows enough to survive off of if that's another low, if that low comes again? Right, you want to think about that when it comes to quitting your job and becoming a full-time content creator or influencer, because if the money's not going to be there, what are you going to do? Are you ready to push through those lows when you're not making any money? You got to be willing to do that. So before you go into content creation, don't just quit your job after that first check because you think this is going to last forever. Because as you can see, and as a lot of these people in this video is talking about, a lot of these content creators aren't making money. It's all based off what you know, your skills, your knowledge, and things like that. So you got to really use that to your advantage.
I think that all these TikTok creators that have a lot of followers, they're getting good big views, are making bank. Think again. Last month I got 17 million views and TikTok paid me £1,600. Let's break that down. I have turned up to work every single day for 30 days. And I know a lot of people think, oh well, it's just making a video. It takes hours, and I mean hours, to create one video for most content creators. You then have your editing, you have your voiceover, you have...
I don't like that. I don't like that take. It takes content creators hours to create content. I don't like that. Because I know plenty of content creators, it takes them 5-10 minutes, especially TikTok videos. She's talking about TikTok videos. Why is it taking you an hour to create a TikTok video? Regardless if it's a voiceover, a video, or edit. These are ideas that you already should have thought about before you created the video. So the editing and the voiceover process should be something that's in your head and you're just laying it down. That's 20 minutes tops. And then at that, you should be able to get 3 videos done within an hour. That take was a little bad because most content creators don't take an hour to create one video. So I can understand where she's coming from, where she's saying her videos take an hour to make, and this is how much she's making for creating these videos. But that's not everybody. Not every content creator takes that long to create their videos. So a lot of content creators look at that as a win because it took them 10, 15, 20 minutes to create that video. They created 5, 10 videos for the day, posted them, and they made that amount of money for doing a couple videos that took them, a couple hours to make. So it's like I said, her experience is different from everybody else's, but I definitely understand where she's coming from saying that.
Your hashtags. There is a lot that goes into just one video. You then have to sit and respond to all the comments after you've posted the video. There's a lot of hours that gets put into creating one piece of content. If you want to be an influencer, content creator, you do you, boo, but there is so much you need to take into consideration before you make that decision.
Yeah, I don't know. Her saying hours, constantly saying hours is messing with me because it really doesn't take hours. I don't know if it takes you guys hours. Let me know in the comment section how long it takes you to create a video. One video for TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is, a short video. 30 seconds to 60 seconds long. How long does it take you to create that video? Because for me, it's going to take me about 10 minutes at least. I can batch record about 15 videos in about an hour and a half, maybe less than that if I already got the ideas or the product ready. So let me know in the comments what your take is on that part right there. But yeah, that is the end of the video. That was kind of interesting because, like I said, here content creators go from being a full-time content creator or influencer to working a 9 to 5. It's understandable, especially when you know what it's like from making a lot of money in 1 month and not making any money the next month. Right? You know exactly what that feels like if you're in that position, and you know what it feels like to think constantly, do I have to go work a 9 to 5? Is this the end? Is this it? Like, if you're a content creator and you've been through that position, you know exactly what it feels like to have to make that leap and actually do it. So watching this gave me, a little bit of motivation to keep pushing as a content creator, because me personally, I don't want to go back to working a 9 to 5. All the things that I do, all the knowledge, all the skills that I've learned over the years, I plan to use that to full effect, right? Whatever it is, something goes away here, I plan to use my other skills over here, right? Whatever it is, I'm going to make sure I have something to do, I have something to provide, I have something to share, and then I have something to gain from it, right? As whatever it is, I'm going to make sure that's how it is. And I definitely recommend everybody that's watching this video to keep that same mindset, right? If you're in content, if you became a content creator or became an influencer and you wanted to do it full time, you wanted to do it for a reason. The same way you go to work 9 to 5 every day, work those same hours that you hate, you should be willing to do that for content creation or to become an influencer, because it's something that you actually like. Even though you're not getting the results that you want, it's something that you like. So put in the hours, put in the work, and you're going to see the results. Sooner or later, you're going to see the results, I promise. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the video. I do hope y'all like this. And if you did, make sure you hit that like button below. If you have any questions, comment them down in the comment section. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on another upload. Until then, though, I'll see you on the next video.